For the max value. It's pretty easy. You know what the percentiles are for the min and the quartiles, but what's that high going to be, the max value? And I didn't realize, I forgot there were 3 of you that had all been in 28 states. So I figured the top's the 99th percentile. Because there are 3 of you guys, that means each of you only exceeded how many? 19, right? Because you guys were 20, 21, and 22 in no order. But you guys exceeded 19 out of 22, which works out being 86%, is that what it was? Isn't that wild? On a small data set, that's going to happen. Now what's fun is putting all the data sets together and seeing how that works out, because then you eventually have one at the top. Somebody's always been to 50 states if you get the data set large enough, or 40. I think we had a 44 in the other Math 243 class. So let me hear some percentiles. What were you guys? 75th at the quartile, 50th at the median. Patrick was 81. This is you right here, isn't it? Yeah, there he is. Yeah? Who else? How did I know that? How did I go so quickly where Patrick was? Am I magic? No, for God's sake, look at me. There's the 75th percentile, right? We just had a discussion about these guys and how they're the 86th. That's got to be him, right? Does that make sense? That's got to be him. Well, yeah, I guess technically it could be the other 23, technically speaking, because it's such a small data set. But I know he wasn't down there on that end. Give me one more. 45th! Yeah. Has to be, right? Right below median. Right below median. Does that make sense? Yeah, so there you go. There's your box plot. Personally, I love having that on with a dot plot. Downside, you can't always do it. Grab your TIs. Grab your TIs. If you still have this data in your TI, that's great. If not, just follow along. We'll show you how to get as close as we can to a box plot and a dot plot simultaneously. Because I mean, if you don't still have the data in your TIs, don't sweat it. If you want to work real quick and get it in there, that's fine too. But what's shaking?
I have that we have 2 at 10. Is that wrong?
You have 2 at 10.
Yeah.
Is it 2 at 10? I could have screwed it up. You're not wrong. I just didn't write it down there correctly. There. You're absolutely correct. I just forgot to put 2. As I was looking at the frequencies, I mislooked at 10. Yeah, there are 2 10s, 2 11s, and 2 12s. Yep. Which makes it actually a little bit easier to do the math as far as one more data point. No, you're golden. You're golden. Let me get this fired up so we can put it on the board. So I personally like having both of those together. Your TI will not do dot plots, and that's okay. We can get pretty close to a dot plot, though. And I like having both, the histogram and a dot plot, and a box plot, if I can, which requires that you have raw data. All right, let's fire you up. There we go. Okay, so I got my data in, you guys are in L5 and L6. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to turn on a histogram. Now, take a look at what I'm doing here. The reason I put you guys in L5 and L6 is so I can use L1 and L2 in my other classes and not worry about erasing your guys' data. I'll do that from time to time. Just a way of keeping you guys kind of safe. Okay, so there's that. So I'm going to turn a histogram on with your data in list 5 and list 6. Your guys' data might be somewhere else, that's totally fine. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, I'm going to go up to Zoom Stat. I get this beautiful histogram right here, which first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finagle with it, because I don't like the way that looks. I'd much rather have it be scaled slightly differently. Okay, so I'm going to change. See, it's saying 5 to 31. I'm going to go 5 to 30. And I'm going to scale it by 5s and see what that looks like. So I'll go 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30. There we go. I got something else turned on. Hang on one second, friends. Yep, let's get him off. All right. I'm going to knock it down even more. That's okay, but the bars are still kind of wide. I want to knock it down to X scale of 3. So it'll be 5 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, 14 to 17. Follow me so far? Okay, there we go. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to like it. You can change it more if you want. If I trace that, now I got my data wrapped up in there. There's my data. Is everybody seeing what the scale of 3 is doing to the data? Scale of 3 just makes each bar 3 wide. Makes each bar 3 wide. So it starts at 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and so forth. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's put the box plot on top of that. So the way you do that is go back to your plot screen, just like you did before, and turn a second plot on. Plot 2 in this case. And then go select the type of plot you want. Now there's 2 different box plot options. There's 2 different box plot options. One's here and one's here. For your guys' data, it's not going to matter which one you use. But the one that I want you to use right now is actually this one. We'll come back and talk about that one briefly. We'll kind of use that as a bridge gapper. Turn them on. Come down here and select that guy right there. And then just tell it where your data is. Mine's an L5, L6. Is that fair? You guys get squared away? Yeah, second Y equals. Second Y equals takes you back to your plot screen. Yeah. Tim, go ahead, ask me that question.
Oh, I just mine says L2, L3.
Just change it. Change it to whatever you need to change it to. Second, and then the number of the list.
Okay, so second Y equals.
Second Y equals gets you to that. And if you need to change your actual list, it's second 1, second 2, second 3.
Yeah. Can you do that on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I just did it because mine said L1 and L2. So I did second 5, second 6. Yeah, good so far? Now just press graph. And you'll get the box plot with your histogram. Now, because when I said I like the box plot on top of the histogram, I didn't mean literally on top of it. So what you probably want to do now is adjust your vertical window to get the box plot above. See what I'm doing right here? I'm a total bastard. I'm using your Math 111 and your Math 95 skills. Use your window. So I'm going to hit window, and I'm going to make the Y max higher. Make it out to 10. Let's see if 10 does it.
10 looks good.
10 works? Look at that.
You got L5, L6?
That was my data. Yours probably isn't there. I put mine there so I didn't delete it. I totally forgot it was there until I went back and looked at it. So there you go. How does this look like our graph on the sideboard over there? It's damn close. Damn close. How's our graph over there better?
How did I get this box plot? I'm missing something. I didn't have to put L2, L6.
Did you turn plot 2 on?
Yeah.
Okay. Then hit graph.
Would go over the box plot symbol.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. You have to actually have that guy selected down here.
Okay, just liking that. This is error invalid.
Oh, check. You got to make sure that you actually have data in the list that you're asking at the graph.
Yeah, I put all the points.
Then make sure that when you go to this screen, those 2 show those lists. If it says invalid dim or dim something or invalid something with the word DIM in it, that means it's trying to pull data from somewhere there is no data or there's erroneous data in there. So, why is our graph over there better? Why is our graph over there better? Because we actually have the actual raw data. Where's your data? Which lists?
L2 and L3.
Okay. It's L1 and L2. Or L1 and L2, not L2 and L3. See how your histogram graphed fine, but your box plot didn't?
Yeah.
Make that second one L1, L2, not L2, L3.
How do I do that? L1, L3?
Second 2, second 1. Or second 1, second 2.
Or so go back to the stat.
Second Y equals, and go in there and change it. So, our graph is definitely better for sure. But a lot of times you won't get that and you'll only get this. So we have to kind of make peace with this. This might be in a publication. This might be something you actually read. And you have to be able to take away from the fact, why is this so spiky right here? Why is this so spiky right here? How come?
So it's one of our modes.
Because there's your mode in there. How is your mode represented up here in this box plot. In this particular case.
It's line that divides the median.
And you see how tight that is right there? There's a lot of data. How much? As a percent. As a percent, how much right in here?
25.
25%. Now, I had to change that to ask you as a percent, because if I say how much, can you necessarily tell me that?
No.
You might not be able to, right? If I say how much data is between here and here, you can always say 25%, but you can't tell me it's 10 or it's 100 or it's 1,000 unless you know how many data points were in the sample. But you know for a fact 25% are in there, whatever the sample size was. It might be one data point, which would be kind of silly, but you know 25% of it's in here. So is there more variability in this 25% or in this 25%? Right or left?
Right.
Definitely more variability. And the trick with that one is you don't know by just looking at the box plot where the variability is. That's where this guy down here really helps. This guy shows you the variability is kind of spread out right here, isn't it? It's kind of spread out right here, which is also indicated in our dot plot over there. But remember, the dot plot is the wish list. The dot plot is a Christmas present. Man, I would love to have a dot plot on my box plot. Well, that's great, except very often you get this. Now, if you have raw data, the problem with this is you can't get exactly down to a dot plot. If you go back to your window screen and change X scale to 2 and regraph it, it gets closer to a dot plot. You see what happened to that crazy spiky part of the histogram? It's not crazy as spiky anymore. It's still the biggest hump. But because we've now split the data across 2 bars, each bar got about half as tall. Ideally, if to make a dot plot, what would the X scale have to be? It would have to be at 1. Sometimes your TI lets you do this, sometimes it did. Let me do it that time. Sometimes it doesn't, I don't know why. Every once in a while when you put an X scale of 1, it'll actually say, no, thank you for playing, go home. But there, that's a dot plot actually. That's a dot plot. I mean, it doesn't look like dots because of bars, but that's as close as you're going to get to a dot plot. And now it looks just like our data up there, doesn't it? And thank you over here, we got our 2 10s. Now we got our 2 10s, looks just like ours. Perfect. So we like box plots. We like them even more when they have a corresponding histogram under them. But we like the box plots because now they give us a tool to deal with highly skewed data, and we can still kind of use the data. The data isn't lost to us completely. That make sense? All right, you got that glaze. Let's go wander around, maybe wander outside, face the Arctic sideways blowing snow. Get some fresh air, come back in. I'll have you guys collect some more data. Okay, grab it, and I'm gonna run my TI again. Yes. Yes. Barry.